thank you so much for coming back or to my channel. I'm so stoked to be here today. I'm sorry it's been a minute. I have been traveling and just been super busy, so I apologize, but I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different today, if that's cool with you. I kind of wanted to talk about past lives. A lot of people are really interested in this topic and I get asked these questions a lot, so I figured it'd be really cool to do a video on it, just like answering questions that I've gotten about past lives. A little backstory: I am a psychic medium, Reiki master who specializes in past lives and connecting people with their past lives. Firstly, a major question I always get is like, how did you get into this? Long story short, and I can go more in depth on this one day, I was born remembering my past lives, most specifically a most recent one that was a bit traumatic and I had to heal from it. But I remembered it like it was yesterday. I was born into this body and I was like, this is not the right body. And it was very confusing for a kid, but I used to think it was a curse and now I'm realizing it was a complete gift and I can help other people with it. So yeah, that's kind of how I got editing Cairo here. Excuse the laundry in the back. It's, we just got back from a long trip and have a lot of laundry to do. I didn't realize how much it was like in the background until I edited, so sorry. Going back, there was a long period of time where I really struggled with this, especially when I realized like this wasn't normal. Like my friends didn't remember their past lives. They couldn't tell you who they were. They didn't have like trauma flashbacks of past lives and things. So that was kind of hard. My family is always incredibly understanding. I am so grateful to my mother and my family and everybody for not being like, you're crazy, let's lock you up, like, and for being like, okay, let's deal with this, let's tell me about it, let's work with this, let's heal from this. And every day I thank my lucky stars that it wasn't a different situation. So I'm so glad that they're becoming less taboo and more open, and people are more open to hearing about them. That makes me incredibly happy, even just from what I've seen over the past few years. Anyways, so healing from my most recent, I should say, past life led me to find Reiki. Actually, my partner, around the time we got together, was always so accepting and loving and didn't even blink twice when I explained everything to her, and she was like, I love you, let's do this, I got you, and kind of pushed me in the direction to get Reiki myself, to release some of that trauma energy in my body from this past life. I was very skeptical the first time I got Reiki. It's not that I wasn't open, I was scared of all this because I knew how real it was. And I knew before I really reopened psychic abilities, the only person I allowed to come to me was my grandmother. And she was telling me, it's time, stop fighting it, stop hiding from it, it's time, you're gonna be fine. And I knew that, like, for some reason this Reiki and opening up this door was gonna just be like stepping on a fast moving train that I kind of couldn't get. I go to this Reiki session and immediately, I can go more in depth on this as well, it was life-changing. A lot of things opened up for me. So many things that I already knew and had been affirmed by psychics before were reaffirmed, and I realized how life-changing and healing this could be. Years later, fast forward, we do a bunch of moving around and I get Reiki certified. Again, I didn't go into my Reiki cert thinking I was going to specialize in past lives. I just loved the healing that it gave to me, and I really felt called to it and wanted to help other people heal in the way that I had. So I ended up accidentally, every time I'm doing Reiki on somebody, seeing glimpses of their past lives, their guides coming to me and showing me how their past lives affect them in this life, and the choices they make, and the fears they have, and blockages that they have in their energy body that they don't even realize they have. And that's kind of one of the first things I want to get into, is even if you are not aware of your past life, it can still affect you in so many ways in this life. And that's one of the questions that I get from people. It's kind of hard to describe, but I've connected people with their past lives in Reiki sessions, and they've realized why they've chosen their career path in this life, or why certain things were hard for them in this life, or why certain things were really easy and like natural for them in this life. And it's so beautiful and cool to see how people have these connections, but they just need them to be affirmed. Which leads me to my next thing. People ask, have we all had past lives? I truly believe, I haven't met somebody yet who hasn't had a past life. Sometimes I don't even mean to see them. Sometimes I'm just talking to somebody and their past life will start playing for me like a movie in my third eye, which is kind of I don't want to get too hippy dippy on you, but you know what? I am hippy dippy and you clicked on this video. So everybody I have met has had one. I mean, this isn't the word or anything. I can just tell you my truth and what I found from connecting people with past lives and speaking with spirits. And I feel like if energy can't be created or destroyed, it makes sense that energies aren't just created on a whim to come down to earth, that we've all been around in other timelines, in other time periods, in other worlds, and it doesn't always even have to be just this dimension. If you want to get, that's a whole other video. This is so hard to stay on track because there's just so much to it and I'm really passionate about this, so I'm sorry if this is a bit all over the place. So second thing, so I have come to find that when our souls are so infinite, this is another question people have, our souls are so infinite. Next question. When we reincarnate, where does that other piece of our soul go? So you are a whole and complete soul. You are also infinite. So that piece of your soul is always with you. However, your soul can break off into pieces of infinite consciousness. So all of these past souls, it's not like you're not a complete soul down here, but all these past versions of yourself can also exist as spirits outside of your body and your spirit. This is just what I've come to find. I've had my past selves come forward as spirits, seeing them and helping to guide me on through my next life, through this life, through something that I'm going through if I'm healing from that life. And I found this with my family and friends as well. Their past selves will come to me and help me show them what needs healing from that life. And it's incredibly beautiful. And this is why I get so excited, because I'm like, people don't even realize how much love and support is around them and how infinite they are. And like truly how badass we are. Like some people think, you know, like, oh, I don't think I could do that in this life, or I don't think I could do this, or, oh, well, I don't know if I've had a past life. Like you have, and you have done things and been places that you can't even fathom. So you can truly do it all in this life. You've probably done it before if you feel called to do something. Next, really, really big question. And if you guys have any other questions, put them down below. These are just ones that I've gotten recently. There have literally been thousands. So how would one go about finding out about their past lives? So I love being the one to connect people with their past lives, but you don't need me. You don't need literally anybody else to tell you. The thing about past lives is your soul knows where you've been. It's just if you want to believe yourself or not. So there are little like clues to find your past life and to connect with it in things that you're interested in, like random things that you can't, like, why do I like that? Why do I feel called to that? Those are really big inclinations that you've had a past life either doing that thing or around that thing. If you have an obsession with a time period, I don't know how to tell you this, but you've lived in that time period, and it could be multiple. It could be one that you really feel called to. Most of us have had way more than one, but these are like little Easter egg clues to show you who your soul truly is. And a lot of people, when I connect them, will be like, oh my God, I watch a movie about that time period all the time because I've just felt like I always wanted to be in that time period. I always felt connected to that time period. And it's true, it really is. Like your soul knows where you've been, and I get so excited about that because I can't tell you how many times I'll connect somebody and they'll be like, oh my God, I had these memories and things I couldn't explain. One person, I told them about the time period and they said, I will be going to bed, I will be sitting up, I'll be listening to music, and this weird image of a shoe during that time period just pops into my head. And I always wondered where that came from, but it was linked to a memory that I helped them see. So it's really funny and really interesting how little things can just pop up and be like a really big inclination of a part of your soul, but you'll think it's so small and like non-important. So these are just things to look into. Also, a lot of times with past lives and things, you will have like weird things you can't explain and reoccurring dreams. I know, like, I've had a lot of people who have said they've had reoccurring dreams about things. If you were just born feeling called into a certain, like you were young and you're like, I know I want to do this for my career, or like just a really big passion for something, that's an inkling that it comes somewhat from a past life. I've seen that quite a few times, myself included in some of my lifetimes, like kind of lining up in this life. About reincarnation and people in your life, are you always around the same group of souls? And the answer, the short answer would be yes. You kind of get reincarnated with the same karmic people in lifetimes, but that doesn't mean that it's every time you're with every single the same soul. Some of them will stay in the afterlife, wherever you believe that is, and choose to guide you through this life as like a spirit guide, but you'll never like leave each other, if that makes sense. The next question I get a lot is, if, you know, say I have a family member in this life and they've been in a past life with me, would it be the same dynamic? And the answer to that is no. Most of the time you can be anything. If you are lovers in this life, you could have been mother and father in the past life, not in a weird way. If you were sisters in this life, you could be best friends in a past life. I've known people who have been mother and daughter in a past life and are like best friends in this life. It's really, really interesting. There's no real like, I guess, rules with that. It's just kind of what I've come to find with connecting people. Another really, really cool thing I found with some of my lives included, lives tend to, and I really didn't know this until recently, this is like a recent discovery, lives tend to go in cycles and sometimes they'll repeat themselves. So it could be 100 years apart, it could be 50 years apart, it could be 1,000 years apart. You can have a lifetime that is set in a different time period, but it'll have very similar core things and themes. So a theme could be a certain love theme, or it could be being ostracized for a gift and using it. And I'm like blanking on an example right now, but just know it could be a completely different time period, but your soul will be going through the same lesson and the same cycle. And I've been in sessions with people in connecting them with their past life, and their guide coming, or their higher self coming to me and saying, this is the lifetime that they need to be aware of this life so it doesn't repeat itself. This is a big lifetime for people who are breaking cycles, and like changing the way that things go and the lessons that they've been learning, and clearing a lot of karma with people, which I think is beautiful and really, really amazing. And I think that there really is a reason why it's becoming more normalized and people are more open to it. And I think that that's for a reason. Souls also are around you from past lives, guiding you, and still have that deep love for you. And even if you couldn't place them or don't know who they are or don't remember them, like they are still with you trying to guide you. And I think that that's really beautiful. There's actually one life that I know of. It was a very long time ago, and I can tell you like the major plot points, but there's little things that like it's a more fuzzy life for me, I guess. I want to like look more into it. But there's a soul that comes forward and a spirit that I see all the time and has told me that they're from this life. And immediately when they because I've been feeling this energy from the time I was a little girl, but immediately when they explained who they were to me and we connected in that way, I realized that this soul has been around since I was a little girl. Like once I saw and felt that energy and knew who it was for, I was like, I didn't even remember this person, but I feel so much love for them, and like so much came back, and they've been around since I was a baby, even if this incarnation of myself didn't remember them. And if that's not freaking beautiful, I don't know what is. And like, there's just so much beauty and so much that goes into this that people don't understand, and I find it absolutely incredibly comforting, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey and helping other people connect with these things. And if you have any questions, this was kind of just a really excited ramble. It's really hard to not get passionate and go off on little tangents, so I'm really sorry if this was confusing. If you have any questions or want another video about anything involved in this, just put it down below and I would love to answer them, because this is something I could talk about for days, for hours. It's what I do. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful freaking day.